Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as you can probably tell, not my usual streaming background. I am set up upstairs on a very jerry-rigged rig on a system of pulleys and bells and whistles. Got a clamp here holding up the mic. It's all very delicate. I would show you if I could. But anyways, we're going to be talking about tools in best ball, real-time assistance. Seems like every year this discussion comes up, so I'm going to set the history, if you would. Hope I'm coming in clear on your side. If you don't care and you just want to see me draft teams, don't worry. I'm going to do that after we do the tool part. So, part one, discuss real-time assistance, talk about tools. Part two, we'll get to ripping some teams. Appreciate you folks being here. Like, subscribe, T's and P's. Anyways, let's get to the history, if you would. So, best ball overlay, or draft caddy. I don't know what this stuff is called. First and foremost, I do not use tools in any ways, ever. Never have I used it for best ball or really anything. But, anyways, so Brick, friend of Brick, who does a show with Pete, does a show with Davis, um, professional daily fantasy sports guy is what I would label him as. Brick 75. He came out with a tool a year or two ago, which would draft for you. It was an auto drafting tool. So basically, you would load it up. It's a dynamic ranker, yada yada, and it would pick for you. And at the time, I think largely because of me, I was very vocally against this and tried to rally the community that, like, hey, this is bad for best ball, in many ways, right? Because I thought, number one, well, like, what are we doing here, right? Like, we're gonna have computers draft the teams for us. Like, a big appeal of best ball is that it was person on person. It kind of feels like your old school fantasy draft where you're drafting with your buds, but you can win $1 million. So if the casual understood that like 50% were drafted by a computer, nothing about that sounds appealing. And so whatever, Underdog came out and they banned this tool because it auto drafted, but now I think a version of it's allowed where it suggests picks. It doesn't draft for you. And a big concern of mine is also that collusion currently in best ball is like a 0% concern, because you'd have to be an idiot to sink hundreds of hours of time what it would take to collude effectively, whether that is noticing a team needs a quarterback so you have one team snipe them, or trying to push some ADP values to a guy you're trying to collude with. Like, none of that's a concern in best ball tournaments as we know it, because again, huge time sink. Two, very hard to realize your EV, even if you have any. It's just hard to win, right? So, whereas, something like online poker, it's very easy to cheat at, and you don't even need to be a genius. Like, there's people who they get in an online table with another guy, and they're just on a phone together, sharing like, hey, I have these cards. I have these cards, and they're splitting revenue, right? Like, cheating as simple as that. There is more advanced cheating as well happening in poker, but in short, there's easier ways to cheat for money if that's what you're trying to do. And so one concern is if we do have a bunch of computers drafting the teams, well, now you're removing the biggest element, which is time to cheat. So in theory, I think someone intelligent could develop a bunch of robots that work together. And maybe this is just like, hey, we notice player X is a winning drafter, or or player Y needs this guy for the double stack. I'm gonna snap him off here. Doesn't hurt my team, but really hurts that team. I don't know. There's just it just seems ways to cheating is much more open. Now, after Brick's tool, our Pat Carane and co at Legendary Upside developed their own tool, and now recently established the Run have developed their own tool as well, which is why we're having this discussion today. Pat's tool has been around for a while. And I have many thoughts on this. I'm interested on the community's thoughts. For the most part, it seems like the companies have been quiet. And so I guess we'll first talk about like incentives. So number one, why would Pat or ETR or anyone have these tools? And why would someone like myself, like I'm against the tools. If these are just going to be okay and I'm going to run a best ball business, do I need to put one of these out there? Well, to me, I like, why are obviously these tools are here because if you can get, let's just say 500 people paying $100 a month to use your best ball tool, well, that's 50 grand a month, right? So that can be a lot of money if you can get, because what you can't make, you can't make 50, like my business right now is priced at $100 for a year. That's not a great business model as far as generating revenue, right? And it's going to stay $100 a year for now. One day I might change that to $40 a month or something, $300 a year. I don't know. But basically, having these tools allows you to charge your hardcore audience, guys who might be making 100K, 200K a year, allows you to charge them $500 over the course of the summer, whatever. And why would that individual want the tool? Well, I think it comes like a little peace of mind. If you're investing like 5K, 10K, you want your picks, whatever, computer approved. The biggest thing it removes is the time sink. So the tools currently, I think they just could help someone get a lot of volume down. They're not the only way, right? Like you could just enter a bunch of slow drafts. But if you're fast drafting a bunch of teams and having a tool recommend a guy fits your stack, like this is not rewriting the wheel in any ways, but that could, I'm sure, help your baseline. And so I don't know, guys, like obviously I think that tools for best ball, like I'm not really concerned with the current iteration of as far as, oh no, it's just going to make the field like so good. Because first off, who's going to be paying $100 a month or whatever? I've not even checked the prices. It's expensive though to use these tools. Very few people. A great thing about best ball is you have folks who are doing strategies that other people may think idiotic, and those type of people, they're not going to have the self-reflection to say, hey, maybe I need to change my process, right? Like the folks who draft 7 running backs to start their drafts or 3 elite quarterbacks always, like they're just going to do that. So there's no raising the floor for those folks, right? Whereas like I think the tools, no, I don't think a tool could draft better than me. Do I think I could develop a tool to draft pretty similar to me? Yeah, I think I could, honestly. If you let me work with a dev, I'm sure I could do a lot of things where I think I could get a smart real-time assistance near auto drafting tool. Now, yes, so I didn't really write down my thoughts, folks. We're just kind of doing this off the cuff here. So I personally, like, let's get to one thing here. I think it's pretty terrible for best ball, where the core of best ball is people are drafting, and it's simply not fun to think that someone else could be on the other end. You're drafting into computer. Like that's not fun at all, right? And so I think, one opinion I see a lot is, well, these tools are garbage. Some people will cite other tool creators' advance rates last year and be like, look how bad they did. That's really neither here nor there. And so if we think about, like, one train of thought is, think about chess engines. Now, chess is a different game than best ball because, your cell phone can beat the best chess player in the world. But it's widely accepted that real-time assistance for chess is unacceptable. It is cheating, and you will be banned if you do it. It is also accepted in poker if you use real-time assistance, which is really like a bot running GTO sims and such and whatever, collecting data. Like, this is not okay as well. It's widely accepted if you're doing this online, you will be banned, you will be booted, etc. So maybe we like one train of thought is, okay, for these games where we have accepted that the computer is better than people, we have stated that bots are not acceptable. And so it's really neither here nor there how good the bot is right now or how good the bot will be. We should just ban it because we've accepted that real-time assistance is not okay. That's one train of thought, right? The other train of thought is that best ball, and really I'm kind of here. Best ball is such a chaotic game that the tools are probably only going to be as good as your inputs. So if someone really likes CEH last year, not pointing fingers, but if a certain person really likes CEH last year and that pick kept getting recommended again and again and again, okay, those teams are getting a lot of CEH. We know how that worked out though, right? Similarly in best ball, players break their legs. Players, go to jail. You can't sim this, right? It's a little bit different than daily fantasy, where daily fantasy is a salary cap game where we have oogles of data on. And so, yeah, I'm not really worried about the tools, again, because I don't think they're that good. 2, I don't think that the people who need them the most will have the humility to use them. At the same time, am I really interested in helping some hedge fund manager roll out of bed and get down 50 grand of best ball action? No. So I don't know. Maybe I'll sell a tool one day because I simply need to, as part of as someone who's saying I don't think these tools are good. I think it's kind of similar to the guy who you guys know the guys in your home fantasy leagues who they cannot make a start sit decision for the life of them. They just can't make decisions. They want someone else to make the decisions. It kind of seems like the tools are for those folks. They're like, well, I don't want to make the decision. I want the computer to make the decision. And so, I don't know. My recommendation to you is if you do not want to see these tools, I would simply start emailing the sites, right? Obviously from the sites end, there's a combination of incentives happening here where, one, the more the sites make money off of rake of the contest. So if someone can get down more action, the site makes more money because they get raked more money. At the same time, best ball is almost purely a customer acquisition tool for all of these sites, where no business, DraftKings, Underdog, etc., none of them are trying to make their pure revenue model, hey, let's rake these contests that happen once a year. That would be idiotic. They're trying to get us on these platforms so that then we do things like pick'ems and sports betting where they can make a lot more money. So that train of thought would maybe have you think, well, if the public doesn't like it, let's get rid of it, because the rake is very meaningless to these companies, right? So yeah, I don't know, guys. Give me your thoughts. To be honest with you, I don't really want to be the guy fighting against these tools every step of the way. It's just not a discussion I want to have every single year. It's obviously making no friends. You could say I'm biased because I don't sell a tool and my competitors do. So there's my bias against it if you want to point to my bias. Obviously, someone like Davis, you could say he has bias because he gets paid to use the tools. Someone like Pete, you could say he has bias because some of his best friends online develop the tools. So he's not, not many people are willing to rock the boat at cost of friendships. I'm easy to dislike already. So I have no worries rocking the boat on these tools, on these things. I think we should all just make your voice heard. I don't think tweeting about it is really doing that. Perhaps sending an email. You know, if 1,000 people sent Underdog an email, I'm sure they would take note of that. I do try to talk for the people. Some people are saying ban all tools. And I don't really know what the tools fully do. I'm not even bothered to look into them. But you know, like I think there's also, if you go to the ETR post about the tools, ETR established the run. I mean, it looks pretty bad optically because you have the owner of Underdog on there. Someone keeps on posting this link online. I mean, it's kind of a hilarious gotcha, but the owner of Underdog, Jeremy Levine, or the CEO, is on a pod with Levitan where Levitan spells out it's crossing the line to have an auto picker. And Jeremy says yes. And now flash forward to today where they're selling an auto picker. Now, I don't blame ETR. If, you know, Legendary Upside is doing it, if Brick's doing it, if other people are doing it, then why wouldn't they, right? Just as well, I don't know how anyone could blame me if I developed the tool, if everyone else is doing it, and I'm just trying to get, you know, my more wealthy subscribers to pay more money, right? So I wouldn't worry about drafting with it. I still don't like. Maybe you can make the argument these daily drafts are worse as well. Let's get some of the fire off your takes, people. Let's highlight some takes here. I'm sure I have some more points I wanted to say that I'm not remembering all of them. Mecha Blood says the AI is only as good as the info. It's mostly guessing how a player would do based on prior performance. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Some people are saying people like Pete and Davis support. I mean, look, like, what are you expecting? Are you expecting Pete to come out here, who he's co-streamed with Pat for like a decade, and Davis to rock the? Why would they do that, right? Even if they felt a type of way about it. Drafters should get rewarded for having more knowledge in the field. I mean, that's still a thing, Scott, right? Like, the tool is not going to tell you who the Cincinnati Bengals RB2 is to draft right now. That's on you, right? So I guarantee you the tools are not going to recommend drafting Zach Moss, Taj Brooks, or whoever. Tool Mule's mom liked my take on the biased. Yeah, I mean, this is obvious, right? Well, so here's my thing on it. Like, what some people have said is, well, if you make the tools banned, there's still going to be some people using it. And I think that's a pretty bad argument, because if companies are not allowed to sell the tools, the amount of people using tools is going to be like 30 people in the world. Like, who's going to actually develop a tool? Like, I'm not concerned about the lone user using it. If, you know, it's just, we're getting kind of close to, why are we drafting best ball at all? Why don't we all just sim the season in Madden, and we all just draft our teams, and then we can play best ball mania every day, right? Why do it off of football? Let's just draft all the players, run a best ball mania slate every single day. We sim the season in Madden, right? So, it's easy, ban them. I don't know if this is really here, like, citing an individual's results in a high variance tournament game. Like, you know, I got 2 teams in the finals last year. So even my hardest haters are going to have a hard time hating on me, where you could say, oh, Liam only advanced 20 teams. And people still try to do this. Liam only advanced 20 teams. He doesn't know what he's doing. He just keeps on running hot, right? Maybe I'm building teams that are not meant to advance, but when they do advance, are going to do well in the contest. Like, I'll have some articles on that. But yeah, like, if I didn't have 2 teams in the finals last year, you could say, well, he just got lucky back-to-back years, right? So I don't think the results of an individual user, such as Pat's result or anyone who developed the tool, is meaningful info as far as the effectiveness of the tool. a second room for tools. Yeah, exactly. No one's going to develop this tool. Banned for dailies, fine for season long. Someone liked the Madden idea. You'll see me pulled up on screen when I join it. Yeah, and look, I multi-table without tools. Not everyone has that skill, right? Like, I've played a lot of bullet chess, so I can make fast decisions. But yeah, I mean, for getting more action down, some people think that the tools are going to have a lot of people building the same teams. I don't know. I don't know, folks. I just thought, obviously, it's out there. I'll pull up the tweet if you want to form your own opinions and post it here. Again, I don't think Establish the Run deserves all this heat that they're getting. Like they're like the third tool provider. So why would they deserve the hate when there's other people that already have the tools? And I don't know if any tool provider deserves hate, right? Again, I don't sell a tool, so it's easy for, I haven't developed a tool for a reason, but here is the tweet about the tool from ETR. Okay, I guess I gotta present my screen. Good job, me. Here it is. You're welcome to watch this video. Full disclosure, I have not watched that video. So I don't even really know what the tool does and doesn't do. It says player recommendations, dynamic scores, ownership percentages, stacking, and playoff indicators. Similar things to other things do. And then we've got this link here from John Moneybags is the video where previously Levitan and Jeremy Levine talked about the tools not being allowed. And so I don't know. Apparently Pete is going live with Levitan on Lowell's later today, so I'm sure you can watch there. Some people are saying 4 dudes agreeing with each other. Are we concerned the tools will be used for market manipulation? Well, I mean, I don't know what these tools do, but I would say it's a little over the line to allow them to collect data, such as like how many times a player's been comboed or anything. Again, even that info is not that valuable, or something like that. But so yeah, I don't know, guys. Give me your comments below. Again, I don't plan on discussing these tools all summer. At the end of the day, it's on the sites to police them, whether they're allowed or not, and clearly they seem to be allowed right now. Davis did put out an article on the tools where he clearly spells out that he has a bias against them. So you're welcome to read his takes on it as well. You can find that on Twitter. Jay saying if it's gathering other drafters' data in the room real time, I think that's over the line. I would agree. I would say it's definitely over the line if it's drafting for you, right? City Walk says, I was attracted to best ball more than DFS because I felt like I was playing against people, not an algorithm. The tools blur that too much for me. And I think a lot of people have this thought that City Walk has, where, and I agree, like, do we really need the tools in every single game? Now, someone like Brick would say, you're being naive, right? You're being naive. Like, if there's money to be made, people are going to want to do it. And so, and like, that's a fair viewpoint as well, where there's money to be made. People want to make the money. They want to do everything that can make the money. Now, I kind of think anyone who's buying these tools are an idiot right now, right? Like, you really think these tools are gonna make you win a extremely top heavy tournament? Are you so unfaithful in your drafting? Like, that's why my site tries to focus more on to teach you how to fish rather than telling you these are the fish, right? Because I think that, the game theory and everything is a more tangible thing that you can take away and learn from. Blue Jay saying best ball is complicated enough where tools have minimal impact. And I don't disagree, Blue. I agree with that. But does that even matter, right? What if one day, like, I'm of this mindset, but I'm also of the mindset that computers have defeated every single game out there. And I don't think it can defeat best ball. I just think best ball is different, but you never know. I think this is a naive tape. If the tools were that good, they wouldn't sell them. They'd use them to become rich. Really, the upside of business, Max, is always more than you can make gambling, pretty much. Sladen saying they're against the spirit. I agree. Like, kind of think best ball is one of the last peer-to-peer games out there. Matthew here, who has a poker avi, is making the Allegory 2 poker, which, yeah, I think you should. It's wild how this is evolving exactly the same way it did in the poker world, and I'd imagine chess before that. No, I mean, tools were never okay in chess because we knew from a very early age they were just better than us, right? So there's a reason why people don't gamble on chess. It's a skill game. An unquestioned, it's a skill game where it's so much a skill game, you can't dilute yourself into thinking you'll beat someone who's better than you, right? Like, I would never gamble against Magnus Carlsen in chess. Would I play Phil Ivey in poker? Yeah, because we understand that while a skill game, there is more randomness in poker. Well, he did say that, so I don't know. You'd have to ask them. No, like, I think if someone was caught using a tool in their home league, they'd be laughed out of the league. That's my take. Ivy would still wreck you. It's really neither here nor there. Topaz, I hope you understood the point I was making. Is it possible to win BBM or the puppies drafting this early? Absolutely, Detroit. You should read my article about drafting early on the site. 2 teams in the finals from May. So, okay, guys. I mean, I'm going to kind of close it there. I think everyone needs to form their own opinion. From what I've seen, some people are saying things like, whatever, best ball's too complicated, only idiots are doing this, or it's only like raising the floor of teams, not the ceiling, and so who cares? Other people are just worried about what's to come, and that these first steps of the tools are just the beginning. Why is this being allowed? Again, I'm more on the side of anti-tools, but if I needed to have a tool eventually to be considered a serious best ball provider, maybe I'd develop one, even if I'm against them. So, if people want to pay a bunch of money to use it, even though I don't think it's that good or good at all, whatever. So, DQ saying it's all about the future. Wouldn't enjoy best ball as much if drafting against spots. Yeah, I agree. It's all about the future time now. I mean, I'm this way too, Derek, right? Use all the tools you want. I'm confident in my drafting abilities. I mean, that's why this is a big reason I've been a successful best ball player is I don't go with what the crowd says. I form my own opinions, and some are proven right, some are proven wrong. Some people are saying the price is very high. I get it, but some people are getting down 80K plus a year for best ball. So for them, it's not. For you, it is, right? So, okay, folks, let's move on to the drafting portion of the show. Well, Cade saying, I think the heat on ETR is expected. No one likes hypocrites, regardless if it's a smart thing to do. I mean, possibly, Cade, but I could also see this thing being, like almost all, like anything. In a week from now, are we even going to talk about this? Probably not, right? I see a lot of folks using the Sidekick tool more as a recommendation and keep tabs on player exposures. Okay, sure. That seems like a fine way to do it. I mean, like I don't even look at my player exposures until like August. Sometimes I'll be in my bed at night and just like parse them and be like, oh, I thought I was getting more of this player. I mean, ultimately, guys, draft 150 teams and hold on here, let me resize this. So no, you're not going to be able to diversify yourself to $1 million. Newsflash, right? Like it's not going to be something where it's like, oh, let me get my 8% of everyone and then I'm going to win. Like whatever. If I have 15% of this guy and 6% of that guy, fine with me, right? I'm the OG vibe drafter. Jack's saying I don't want it to be easier for people to multi-table and get large volume down. So that sounds like Jack's incentive is he wants. I mean, some people would, right? Even if they think, like one theory is if you're a good drafter, get as much action down as you can because you just want bigger tournaments. Jack's saying, I don't want that because I think I'm a good drafter and I don't want other good drafters. What's the fun of best ball if you're using a tool? See, many people are drafting for fun, Stefan, but some people would tell you you're being naive because there's money at stake. So I don't know, folks. Let me know what you think. I am in a 20-second BBM. Not going to be doing too many more BBMs pre-schedule. This is going to be 31. Already did a little bit more than I wanted, but hey, so be it. That is life, right? How many times you get a draft for $2 million? Been working hard on some articles. Definitely going to have one hit the site tomorrow. So check it out at beatbestball.com. Appreciate that, Sladen. No free stream review here. I think a lot of people draft best ball for fun, and I still draft for fun. Like I have fun doing this, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. I'm also trying to win money. Well, actually 300 times a year, Little Dodgers, because DK's 2 mil to first as well. All right, folks. Hard to segue from that discussion, but yeah, again, my number one recommendation here is if you're against the tools, don't spend your time attacking people on Twitter. Send an email to the company. And just possibly if enough people do that, they'll be banned. And like some things that the tools do, I think should be fine, right? Like player exposures and stuff like that. Like I don't need that. I don't think many people need that. Or like the NFL schedule, I don't need that. I'll have a cheat sheet for people to look at. I don't want a bunch of stuff I don't want all these like different colors on my screen, right? Like that sounds like, I don't know, terrible. But hey, different strokes for different folks. A lot of people are in best ball just because they see the money. Totally fair to it, right? Like, I mean, hey, the money is definitely like I wouldn't be doing this if there was no money, right? So I'm in it for the money too. And obviously I've been successful at that. I mean, I used to work for chess.com, and chess.com is relevant here because cheating in chess is like an existential crisis. And so I'm familiar with what chess.com can do to detect cheating. I'm not going to say what they can and can't do because I don't think I'm allowed to. But can Underdog recognize when a player is using an overlay? Almost certainly, yes, they can. Yes, they almost certainly can. All right, the 107. Let's do a Gene T team. I'm getting a lot of Puka. I don't think I have as much Gene T and BBM. I think the 106 plus is a clear tier. I love Puka. Puka's my guy, but we got to get some Gene T too. Do we know when the schedule drops? I mean, it drops in it drops very slowly, but it's going to be fully here Wednesday night. Good segue. Any rookies in OTAs? Hype train starting? Yeah, I mean, definitely. And some of this hype is not warranted, folks, right? Like this time last year, let's just remember Jalen Polk was a monster at camp, right? So just be careful out there. I also CMC at the 107, a defensible pick. Couldn't think of a cleaner bet than the guy we draft at the 101 every year. Some full tilt reflections here. Happy to still answer questions about the tools in this stream if you guys have any. Don't really want to be discussing this every day unless actionable news comes out, though. I think I tried to be fair about the incentives of both sides, what these tools can and can't do, and what you should do as a user. Whether you want them, go get one, or whether you don't want them. And that's part of the reason I don't talk about tools either is whatever. Yes, Derek Carr is retired. I guess that's something we got to talk about. Let's do our double running backs. One theory of early drafts is starting running back heavy earlier in the season is better because we lack clarity on some depth chart questions for 0 running back targets. Another side of the coin, though, is that a lot of the 0 running back targets are going to be too cheap right now. And so drafting 0 running back teams, getting a lot of running back darts late is a much better chance at hitting a CLV team, a closing line value team. And that's kind of like my finals teams from years past. Like I hit on CLV on Chuba. So I'm more in that camp. So yeah, Derek Carr retired, folks. I would be assuming Tyler Shuck is the quarterback there. I still like Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. The market might ding him. Holy God. Almost dropped an F-bomb on stream, which I try not to do, but I'm streaming upstairs and my girlfriend's cat is right next to me and it doesn't like hands in her face and it just attacked my hand because I didn't know she was right at my feet. Damien saying I have take lock on J.K. Dobbins with like 50%. Was hoping you could burst my bubble a bit. Man, I keep on drafting J.K. Dobbins when I need a running back. Obviously, it could go bad, but I've been doing it. I draft some Keenan. I draft some Amari Cooper too. And I think that's how you should be doing it. The cat likes the tools. Levitan sent the cat to get me. Jokes, obviously. Stefan, my depth chart article I think is going to hit the site tomorrow, and yeah, I discuss about Sampson's definitely in there on the Browns depth chart. Bears could sign Dobbins. His ADP will skyrocket. Yes, or he could go back to the Chargers, and his ADP I think would fall. Why not? Let's do Josh Jacobs. We got to bleed green on him sometimes. Did you see the Dr. Lupo chest cheating scandal? Yes, I did. Gonna have an article on the Eliminator Cam, but he says, seems like people are misunderstanding the Eliminator, treating it like a high floor contest cash game, despite massive variance of making it far. Yeah, I think there's, right, because the cash game logic is somewhat logical, where it's like, yes, you want to score as many points week in, week out. At the same time, no, your goal is not to just hit 130 points each week, or even to compare it to like the marathon, the total points contest. It's not to do that either, because you're going to need. Sometimes you're going to face a team that scores 180 points, and if you can't beat them, see you later. So it's really a mind meld, honestly. Thoughts on Jordan Mason? Love Jordan Mason. Thoughts on Jaden Blue starting? You know, Troy, guys like Jaden Blue, they're either like the worst pick on the board because they're Kamani Vidal, or they are the best pick on the board because they're the starting player of the Cowboys at a cheap cost. And so I still think the Cowboys are very likely to get someone in there. Even if not, it's going to be very money, right? Like Miles Sanders is the starter of the Cowboys. I would believe you. Javonte Williams is the starter and terrible. I would believe you. Jaden Blue doesn't really have starter size, but like getting 10 carries a game. You know, this is the team that gave Rico Dowdle a bunch of work. I would believe you there too. All right. Whatever. Don't try this at home. You gotta have some 4 RB teams. Not a lot, but oh god, the mic. I bumped the mic. I've convinced myself Walker or Chubb is getting traded. I think we could see some action at the trade deadline, but I don't know about that. So I would say my start is in general bad because literally one of my players cannot hit my starting lineup. So like one key concept of like trying to advance a team is you want to absorb as many points as possible with your first picks, right? So it's like literally I can only start 3 of these guys a week. However, obviously my plan is going to be to stop at 4 running backs. Yeah, we're the anti RTA. So I'm trying to depend on the going such a low quality at running back, and I'm trying to make the bet that Jeanty, Achane, Jacobs, and Cook are near league-winning running backs. Speaking of, I don't think we're streaming because Davis is doing a marathon stream on Wednesday. I'm still going to be streaming myself, but yeah, don't think Davis and I are going to do the show this week. Sure. Why not? How bad of a team can we make and still advance? The Kittle pick obviously is just going to put me further behind the 8-ball wide receiver. I'm also streaming this draft, which stream teams almost unilaterally people draft more wide receivers on. I'm not anti Kyle Williams. I'm anti Kyle Williams' price. From a projection standpoint, like I couldn't think of a player being more wishcasted. And maybe the market's going to be right on this sometimes. Way more of the time, though, they're not. Do you think Scatabo starts moving up the board when preseason starts? I mean, I personally think he is one of the most overpriced players too. Like we're drafting 2 Giants running backs, a team that's almost certainly going to be bad in the 9th round. Like what could go wrong? Now, the reason why they're both going there is one of them is the starter, we think. I mean, obviously, it's going to be Tracy or Scatabo. So whoever wins out that job could go up in price, but like, I mean, Giants running back, do we want that? I mean, maybe Dart is really good. Like, that's what they need. Yeah, and they need to dodge Devin Singletary being anything. Yes. Scat seems pretty expensive. Tank seems really cheap. Is Polk this year's Quentin Johnston? CJ, I think that's totally possible. Like, he would be a guy I rather than drafting Kyle Williams always at 100%. If I had Drake May, I'd want to be mixing in some Jalen Polk, a guy who just year 2 puts it together. So Joe Burrow makes no sense for us. God, just slam a wide receiver in here. We'll go with Judy. A good bet for volume. You know, Browns pass catchers, I keep taking them. If you get Joe Flacco, I think that's the dream. If you get Kenny Pickett, that's not good. If you get Deshaun Watson, that's probably not good. If you get Dylan Gabriel, that's probably not good. So there's a lot of bad options here. But hey, Flacco at the right time could put up some big games. Alvin Kamara pick 70. Wow, killer value. As someone who's been doing some eliminators, like you don't see that. Thoughts on Rome's potential? Yeah, I mean, I spell this out in my depth chart article, but like the Bears pass catchers are very ambiguous. What I am pretty certain on is like I want to be wading into that ambiguity. So I want to be taking some of all of them. I would buy Rome as a bust. I would buy Rome year 2 is the guy you want. So he's getting cheap. It's right around where I have him ranked is in this group. So I'll be mixing him in. I mean, you could if this a lot though, right? What if Mike Williams is the wide receiver 1 of the Chargers? You know, like is Stephon Diggs dead? Is he done? Not out yet, brother. Not out yet. It is just May, my friends. We don't have the schedule yet. Yeah, I think Jaden Reed, some overlap with Josh Jacobs there. I still love Jaden Reed. Keep taking him a lot. Reed and Golden, I just kind of mix there. Nice thing about Reed is he's been good in the NFL. Does he play all the snaps? No. Does his game fit best ball? Yes. I mean, you got to be pretty bold to full fade the Bears, but you could do it. Really happy I packed my DeAndre Swift bags day 1 of the contest. Gone up 20 picks of ADP. Yeah, I mean, I'd put the Bucks in this here too. Teams like the Bills as well. Why didn't you take Waddle over Kittle? You know, Murray, if I was strictly trying to do my best to advance always, I would have done that. And I thought about doing Waddle, but I decided, you know what? You know how many teams are going to have 4 running backs and an elite tight end and make the playoffs? Almost none. And, you know, just need Waddle to not be a good pick, which we've seen, and Kittle to be an awesome pick. So the answer is it's a mixed situation for me. I think Mooney's makes more sense than Igbuka for my team, just needing to cash in on some early wide receiver points. I mean, I definitely think DK's ADP is not sharper on the aggregate, but I do think they're sharper in some ways. But yeah, guys like Luther Burden, you can get in like the 140s on DraftKings. So teams coming together here. Obviously, we're going to stop at 4 running backs here. We got 3 wide receivers who are going to run routes, can give me spike weeks. We're going to keep drafting wide receivers. Might get a quarterback in here. Vibes-wise, I just think Tua is going to fall off, and the Dolphins will be looking for a new quarterback. Yeah, it's hard. I keep on getting Tua on my Dolphin stacks, but it never feels great, a guy who has an injury history. So here's where a little bit of the value should hit me, where, you know, these teams who started wide receiver, they got to draft Brian Robinson, Pacheco, Mason, Warren. And I don't need Cam Scatterbo. I don't got to draft those guys right now. And you shouldn't, right? Like, to be drafting another running back is a mistake. Yeah, why not? We're going to be taking a lot of wide receivers, so getting the, you know, a rookie like Jaden Higgins makes a lot of sense, where I want Jaden Higgins to be the best pick on the board. And some other guys don't have a chance of doing that, whereas Jaden Higgins could be. And if he's a bust, well, I'm going to be taking a lot more, so it's not going to hurt as much. Right? Like, something you don't want when you have a team like this is to have like a bunch of Wan'Dale Robinsons. You know, you want some guys that can absolutely boom in a weekly sense and a season-long sense. Quarterbacks, that makes sense. Purdy, Love, Penix, Stroud. So we're opening up a lot of quarterbacks too. Joe Flacco, just kidding. It's the only one we're not doing. Oh yeah, this is during the botting chat, but appreciate you, Steve. Thank you for the super chat, and shout out Steel City Blue for coming a YouTube member. Appreciate you, brother. Miles Sanders, Cowboys, RB1. I would buy it, man. I would buy it. Okay. Yeah, I think Keon is a really good guy for my team. Again, the running back wide receiver correlation, something I like doing, both in a positive and negatively correlated sense. And Keon is the guy where it really wouldn't surprise me if at year end we're like, oh man, Keon, he was the guy you wanted in Buffalo. It also wouldn't surprise me if Keon never becomes more than a downfield jump ball specialist. And even if that's all he is, that's going to result in touchdowns as long as Josh Allen is his quarterback. So, yeah, I quite like him. But it's very ambiguous for Buffalo. I want to be mixing and matching the pieces. The thing about the Strouds of the world is I like them too, but Stroud, Love, these guys who do near zero rushing, you need the outside season for them to be a quote unquote league winner at quarterback, right? Where it's like Caleb Williams doesn't need to do as much as a passer because he rushes. Even Purdy. Purdy gives you some rushing production, some touchdowns. Tyler Warren's ADP is correcting somewhat. Come schedule release, a lot of these ADPs are going to start to align with Week 17 opponents, so some uniqueness here. Well, and uh, maybe with the Texans' terrible line, he's going to have to run more. So all the tight ends go. We're going to take a quarterback. I think we'll just side with ADP here. A couple makes sense for me, but we'll go with Mr. Love to pair with Jayden Reed and Josh Jacobs. Kyle Williams is not next off the board. I mean, the Kyle Williams folks are either going to absolutely stick it to me. And the thing about Kyle Williams is, let's say he gets a lot of positive camp buzz and I have FOMO. Like, he's going to go from this price to this price, right? Like, I don't see any universe where Kyle Williams jumps into the tier where, like, Matthew Golden and Jayden Reed are getting drafted. Like, that would take, I guess, like a Stephon Diggs injury in training camp. So, yeah, seems like a bad guy to be taking this time of year at an expensive price tag. So the team so far: Love, Jeanty, Achane, Jacobs, Cook, Jerry Jeudy, Jayden Reed, Darnell Mooney, Jaden Higgins, Keon, Kittle. Stroud goes to the Nico drafter. Minor bummer. I would have taken Stroud as my second quarterback. I think we're just going to, like, Michael Penix, sure, makes sense, but I think I'm just going to do Herbert. Whether I get him stacked or not, who cares? It allows me to comfortably stop at two quarterbacks, and that's what this team needs more. It needs me to go 2 QB, 2 tight end, and just take 10 darts at wideout. And maybe I'll even draft Quentin Johnston. I mean, I kind of just did that with Herbert, right? I don't think Kyle has a clear path to wide receiver one. It would be pretty surprising for a third-round rookie to be the wide receiver one over Stephon Diggs. Thing about Herbert is he's not the easiest to backstack just because I hate Quentin Johnston, but maybe Quentin Johnston is what this team needs. Don't think I'm going to do this, my friend. I could see Cooper with the Steelers. You know, there's a lot of teams that make sense. Quentin Johnston, this guy goes, "You're going to take Herbert? How about this?" Sure, man. I've taken no Kyle Pitts, but I kind of like the Pitts Kittle duo. Two guys where you're really just trying to hunt big games from, and that pays off if it happens. So, yeah, would having Michael Penix with those guys be a little bit better than Herbert? Maybe. But Mike Williams, Herbert, yeah, we got Mike Williams. We got guys still. Mike Williams is not undraftable. I have drafted some Mike Williams, and I probably will on this team. Unless this guy gets so upset that he takes him in this round. So, going to end the draft with 5 wide receivers. And I don't hate it. Jeanty, Achane, Jacobs, Cook, Love and Herbert, Kittle and Pitts, Jerry Jeudy, Jaden Reed, Darnell Mooney, Jaden Higgins, Keon Coleman, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. I like Conklin too for some late round. Well, Adam Thielen is like a really good wide receiver for my team, actually. Because he might fall off, but I quite like his chances to give me some weeks early. And when I'm taking 10, like I don't need all of them to be a thing late in the year. And he might not fall off, you know? I believe the tools work for DraftKings too. So, yeah, I would email everywhere you play best ball. I would email and ask their stance on tools if you want them not a thing. I mean, is coach speak even that valuable sometimes? Some coaches just lie. Seems the sentiment is that people were just agreeing on those, which, I mean, I don't really have interest of going on there and being like, no, you're all wrong. Rah, rah. What did you think of Thielen last year? During the season or preseason? I don't think I drafted much of him preseason because the team was so bad, but during the season, he was quite okay. I don't really think there's any room for the quarterbacks in that range to move up. Like they're all similar bets. Purdy, Caleb, Baker, Kyler, Bo, Fields, Goff, Dak, Love, Herbert, May, etc. Yeah, I would rewind if you're curious about that. We talked about the tools to begin. Thoughts on Wicks? I keep drafting him somewhat. Obviously, I don't want 100% him, but yeah, I like his chances to give some routes. My God. Fine. I don't feel like drafting Demario Douglas right now. So we're doing Andre Yoshibas. Pick 175. Dak is going to tick up. What's the point? Why? I don't think the tool discussion is that interesting that we should talk about this every day. I feel like Douglas is a good pick if you were low on Kyle Williams. Yeah, that's one train of thought. I've also drafted Demario Douglas quite a bit, and I just don't want Demario Douglas in every team. And also, maybe Drake May and the Patriots are not a good passing football team this year. That could happen as well. I'm sorry, brother. I'm too busy to just do an entertainment pod purely. I don't know, but I think he's a decent click. All right, let's do Michael Wilson this time. We're just getting routes. We're trying to get routes here. Yoshi Boss definitely could Yoshibas definitely could lose his job if like Jermaine Burton is not an idiot, but I still think he'll be the wide receiver 3. Ryan, I don't do this unless you super chat. I'm not sorry. Don't have time to just go through everyone's teams. Yeah, I feel the same way, Goose. Obviously, chances are at least one pick from the first round will bust, but I can't make any good faith arguments to fade any of them this year, like I've taken stances against players in the past. Yeah, if you made me fade some players, I would fade Bijan and I would fade Neighbors, but I don't want to fade these guys, so I won't. You know, it's not like years past where I've been like, oh, this is kind of an easy fade for me. Nico Collins makes you nervous. He doesn't he doesn't to me. Because if you told me Nico Collins was going as the 105, I would buy that. In a rational world, maybe he would. Like in a rational world, probably the lesson we wouldn't be learning is to jam running backs in the first round. It would be that this is the range you get running backs, but the elite wide receivers are very valuable. Let's go Wicks with Love. Yeah, it's a little uneasy that two Raiders are going so high. Have you taken Savion yet? No. I don't like. I kind of feel like those guys are better towards training camp unless you have like a real lean on a situation where it's like right now I'm just trying to cash in on some routes run, which I think these guys are all decent bets to do. Yeah, I agree. The top half of drafts feels a lot different. Where it's like, okay, I can make an easy case to fade Derrick Henry. He's 31. I can make a case to fade Garrett Wilson. His quarterback is Justin Fields. I can make a case not really to fade a whole lot of other players that like you can make some stuff up. You can be like, well, Rice is going to get suspended. You could say, well, Darnold's going to get benched. You could say like Tyreek is going to go to jail. You can make things up, but I don't buy like Kyron. I love Kyron, but slight fade maybe with the other guys. Bowers as a structural fade, I think makes some sense, just in the sense that there's an infinite tight ends you can get that you like. So my 31st, I'm gonna try hard not to do any more until the schedule's out. A little bit more than I wanted to do, but who cares? Does the Texans O-line situation make you nervous about drafting Nico? No, it doesn't. Does the Texans O-line make me a little nervous? Yes. Does it to the levels where I won't draft Nico Collins? No. Remember Stroud's rookie year. We're gonna go with Mr. Mike Williams. Wait, did he get taken? Wow, someone watching the draft sniped that. Oh god, my mic is falling. Let's do Calvin Austin this time. Fuck. Worst feature on Underdog is that if you queue a player, it doesn't overrule pre-draft limits. Oh well. Achane and Wright, what if you need that? It is a terrible feature though. Underdog, you should fix that. It is fixed on DraftKings. Like A player in the queue should override anything else, in my opinion, not your player limits. I mean, not even a big deal getting Jalen Wright, who I quite like as a value, and having him with Achane, not a big deal. Obviously, I wanted the 10th wide receiver, but yeah, it is annoying. Happens more in 20-second clocks. Who's the loser who took Mike Williams? Who needed that 0? This guy. Fair. All right, so the team, Love and Herbert, Ginty, Achane, Jacobs, Cook, Wright, Judy, Reed, Mooney, Higgins, Coleman, Thielen, Yoshi, Boss, Wilson, Wicks, Kittle, and Pitts. So you see the vision. Herbert unstacked, not great. Okay. Ginty, Achane, Jacobs, Cook, obviously Beasley. I don't even mind the Wright and Achane handcuff. Wide receiver, you simply hope that these guys spike at the right time. And, some upside cases for some of these guys, Higgins, Coleman, etc. Even Yoshi Boss, I can make an upside case for. Wicks, yeah, he's got out to Dobbs getting traded or something like that. So, is it my favorite team ever? No. But this is a new mic? No, I'm upstairs right now. I mean, it's on me. I was chatting and I didn't look that Mike Williams was drafted. I mean, I definitely agree. Part of the fun is human versus human. God, I hope not, Damien, but it is possible. Let's do an eliminator. Be sure to like and subscribe, folks. Not many people willing to be the voice of the people, but I will. Got the 103. So yeah, if you're curious what happened there, just to explain it in minutia, I have my limit set to 2682 in case I fall asleep and auto a team, or for the eliminator, I have them set to nothing apparently, because I did fall asleep and auto a team there, but I want it set to this. And if you put a player in your queue, Q, whatever, you will not get that player if you're past what your set position limit is. I mean, the bot can be an idiot, man. Quay. That was just for reactions, Joey. I want to on record, Jacob. I'm only going to have fun if I win this contest. Yes. Can't queue players. Yes. If you were under the position limit, it would have taken the queued player. Yes, correct. Let's do Justin Jefferson. Seems like a good player to hit your lineup week in and week out, which is definitely what you want. So I have this set to 3672. So if I have 7 wide receivers and I have 1 in the queue and I don't actually click the draft button, I'm not going to get that player. Which with 20-second clocks happen, like 30 seconds clock, it would never ever happen to me, but 20 seconds happens. It's happened once or twice. And you know what, folks? That's just some randomization. What if Achane is a league winner and then breaks his leg, and then Jalen Wright is who you need to win money? Boom. Story told. So basically, this mic is being prompted by or being held up by a like a paintbrush jammed through the hole sitting on the desk. Some interesting discussion in the chat. I usually click save live chat, so people watching this on replay, you can see the chat. If you do anything other than once you win BBM, lock yourself in a basement and draft teams all summer again, then I don't want you to win BBM. Anyone who's using BBM as an escape, absolutely not. You must be stuck in this recurring draft landscape. Sure. Josh Jacobs. You can see the running backs, they have much higher ADPs for this. Yeah, hard agree. It's kind of like, if anyone has heard, like if you have a genie and you, like one of the traps with like a genie that grants you wishes is you ask it to grant you infinite wishes, and then what it does is it actually makes you the genie and it traps you in the bottle. It's kind of like that, If you win BBM, you're trap drafting teams forever, like me. Guys, tell me why you're playing BBM. Some very interesting takes getting put in the chat there. Let's go with Tyreek, man. If Tyreek is a league winner, everyone would be sick if they had none. Yeah, I never saw the guy who won last year. Should have been me. What's crazy about the Hans Niemann thing is like some dude just made a joke about the beads and like everyone ran with it. I play because best ball is a disease. Amen, brother. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you shouldn't draft BBM teams expecting to win money. I mean, so Ross, the people who just, I don't fully agree. Like, I'm playing best ball to win money. I'm playing to get my teams in the finals and try to win. Am I expecting to win a tournament year in and year out? No, I'm not expecting it. But I am expecting me to get my money in good, and with a large enough sample, I will win. So, like, I don't agree with the people who say you should just draft for fun either, because we are, at the end of the day, playing a skill game where money is being gambled. What's your honest thoughts on the Dallas offense? Well, see, money, good news. I give my honest thoughts pretty much always, but it makes me feel easier about Dak. I think the Cowboys are going to be pass happy. They still could be absolutely a disaster, though. Like maybe Dak isn't as healthy. Maybe the O-line isn't as good. Yes, I agree, right? The potential to win $2 million, like Before I won, and I still do this, before I won Best Ball Mania, before the season even started. Oh no, I think there's more so like mid-season. I would just like scroll and look at my teams, like late at night going to bed. It was the COVID year. There wasn't a lot to do. I would just like look at the teams and be like, yes, this team could do it. You know, like that's part of the process, folks. If you have the mental powers to just draft and not look at your teams until the end of the year, my God. Absolutely not me. I'm looking at the teams. You know, there's that meme somewhere where I bet he's thinking about other women and it's just me thinking about my best ball teams. Sure, Amara Hampton. Tougher eval for the eliminator, where obviously whether he's doing anything week 1 is important to me, but slight AVP value, possibly hits the ground running. I could see Kirk Cousins somehow ending up there, but no, I think it's going to be Shuck. I mean, this is, dude, if you can draft at like, if you have some job, like, I don't know, some job where you can just sit at a table or sit down and draft, like, basically working 2 jobs if you're getting your money good. Let's go with RJ Harvey. Why not? Running backs like fly off the boards in these eliminators, so you can see that with picks like Chuba going here, Joe Mixon going here. Gonna try to make this Jacobs Hampton Harvey room work. Could be Michael. I mean, Najee could even be cut. J.K. Dobbins returns, loses out. Yeah, banned words in chat or Kenny Pickett. Anyone who loves Kenny Pickett, I'm just convinced that their hands are at best 7 inches large. Because if you haven't seen the image of Kenny Pickett with the gloves on, like he needs those to hold the ball. Yeah, that's a long time away though. And J.K. Dobbins, like Elijah Moore had the same thing and he got signed. So yeah, no, I I forced Najee on myself too. I mean, he gets some rooms he really falls. So you know, he's in the same class as, to me, like the Ramondre Etienne, Javonte Charbonnet. I don't think he should be going amongst this group. I mean, I wouldn't be drafting Dillon Gabriel, but I think it's okay to draft the Browns pass catchers. Just don't stack the quarterback. But sure, if you think Dillon Gabriel is your edge, go with God. This is possible. Najee is budget David Montgomery. I would say though that Hampton is not Gibbs. He's probably just like a better Najee. Thoughts on Anthony Richardson this year? I think he's okay to mix in. I'm uneasy about it. And if you've seen any videos of him throwing the football, they make you uneasy. I mean, no, he doesn't make it out of the 18th. No one named the starter should make it out of anything for the Browns because you would assume all of them have huge bench risk. Wow. Hampton is the Matt Forte of Fred Jackson's. What a call. Jennings, quite a nice wide receiver for here. Makes the RJ Harvey pick feel better. Oh no, hitting the mic again. Chris Godwin definitely falling in drafts. So you're seeing the vision. We're trying to beat him at wide receiver and running back. We'll take Debo too. I'm a little uneasy about Debo, but we're getting the olds back together. Tyreek, Debo. I mean, I've been forced to take Tyler Shuck in the eliminator because sometimes you just the room gets so quarterback heavy that you're forced to do like Dart and Shuck and someone else. I think one lesson from time is that things you think are priced in are not priced in. And so I'm not even sure if Godwin is falling because of Ibuka or if he's falling because he was hurt last year. I mean, that's terrible, dude. How bad is Anthony Richardson and Russell Wilson as your two quarterbacks? I would rather my two quarterbacks be Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. So I'm at least locking one quarterback. You don't ever do that. I like I don't think people are understanding. The Saints are not incentivized to be any better. They do not want Kirk Cousins, I don't think. They don't want to get they don't want Rodgers. They want to play Shuck and either have him be awesome or have him be terrible and go get Archie Manning. Like that's probably what they're thinking. Not every team is trying to maximize win equity. Where is Pickens' ADP ending? I think he'll be in this group of Waddle, Olave. Am I fading Kamara? No. Might not have as much in best. The nice thing about the Eliminator is like guys you might not like as much in Best Ball Mania, you get more so in the Eliminator. I don't think it's ripped to Olave. Like I still like Olave quite a bit. You know, like think of how bad the Browns were last year. Think of how many pass catchers they supported. I personally think if the Saints were going to trade Olave, it would have happened already. But hey, they could be trade deadline sellers for sure. Okay. I don't have rankings yet for the Eliminator, by the way. These are just the raw ADPs. I will have those out, though, once the schedule's out. Yeah, but does it? Because it's a division rival. So are the Falcons going to let him go to their division rival? Probably not. It just opens up the Falcons like to a ton of ridicule as well, where if Michael Penix is not good and Kirk Cousins plays well for the Saints, heads are going to roll. I don't agree. Because Kirk Cousins had an injury, so it's quite possible he's better off the injury. So, like, I mean, personally think the most logical thing for the Falcons to do is to keep Kirk, and if he recovers and is healthy, and Penix is not good, well, boom, you can just play Cousins. It's so funny how 1% of lineups will be left by week 7, a truly sick contest. I know. I'm looking forward to seeing the schedule just to see how many dead teams I have in this or not. So the team so far: Jacobs, Hampton, Harvey, Jefferson, Hill, Jennings, Debo, Cup, Smith. So feel pretty good about the wide receiver room. Feel pretty good about the running back room. Have a swing at an elite tight end. Gonna get some quarterbacks in here and fill out depth. I take them in stacks. You know, I could see it going a lot of ways. This is the Eliminator, G Money. I mean, this guy's takes are all over the place. In one case, he loves him. In the other case, it's only because he's left-handed. My God, dude. I'm getting the vibe Ayuk might be ready to start the season, so I bumped him up. Don't bye weeks come out tomorrow? I believe Wednesday, my friend. Wednesday night. But that's close to tomorrow. So bizarre. Purdy just went. Yeah, whatever. We're just gonna scoop the Goff value. Do you use the same rankings for BBM and Eliminator? No, I'm gonna have independent rankings for the Eliminator. I don't even, dude. I don't know if Nick Chubb has anything left, but I've heard rumors. I've heard lots of rumors, my friend. Have we talked about quarterback strat? In general, I'm more likely to build 3 QB in the Eliminator, especially pre-schedule. In general, the elite quarterbacks are better picks for the Eliminator. Oh, God. Yeah, there's a lot of this going on too. Goff and Prescott, 2 unstacked quarterbacks, not something I would ever do in Best Ball Mania, but I'm fine doing it in the Eliminator. Would I still prefer my quarterbacks are stacked on in the aggregate? Yes. Do I think this is okay to do sometimes too? Yes. Are you maxing the Eliminator? Definitely. I think it's going to be good content too. Like each week we can look at my Eliminator teams until and if I'm eliminated. The nice thing about Goff naked is, like, in general, you prefer the naked quarterbacks who either you get an ADP value, which I did, and you prefer that they have a bunch of pass catchers. So in this case, Amon-Ra, Jameson, Tesla, Laporta, Gibbs. Like you want to have a ton of guys so that it just raises the chance that neither of them are the guy you need, and you're just capturing the points of the passing game. Dak, you can't make that case for as much because it seems like the passing game will most likely go through Lamb, Pickens, maybe some Ferg. But I could still get Ferg. Any thoughts on Keenan Allen? It makes me uneasy, but I draft him some ML. He could definitely retire. Like that's in the range of outcomes. By week 5, 9.4 eliminated teams remaining when maxing 150. We're gonna have 20, dude. We're gonna have 20 by week 5. How fat is Keenan? Has anyone tried tagging Keenan and say, "Can you post a picture of you on a scale?" I couldn't think of a worse pick for the eliminator than Kyle Williams. All right. I wasn't planning to do a third quarterback, but McCarthy with Jefferson, why not? I do want to have some teams where I just like overspend at quarterback a little bit, in my opinion. Really just trying to raise my chances of like beating a team at quarterback. On average, though, I would be stopping at just Goff and Dak. I mean, this just isn't realistic, though, Ryan. We're starving the beast a little bit, too. Hopefully making other teams take quarterback, such as this guy at the one hole taking Penix. Ray Davis definitely would have taken him. Let's go Grendo. Just a massive upside swing. If CMC goes down, this dude's hitting our lineup. Some possibilities Jordan James, but I thought he played well as a rookie. We need some bodies in that running back. I like Goddard too, but really going to try to lean on Jonnu. Doesn't bother me having Jonnu and Tyreek without Tua. His points are pretty replaceable. Unhinged folks in the chat. Not that I don't love them. I personally don't think it's a great, I don't know. Let's start here. How much of an edge do you think I have? Like, what would you say is the average EV of a team I enter? Or better yet, what do you think is the edge of the best drafter in the planet? So whoever you think the best drafter is, how much do you think they're getting their money in good? I would guess upwards of 50% ROI. Peppertoni is offering a service here. It's pretty sick average, brother. I did it. You guys could go back and watch some old pods I did with Peter Jennings. And he said he was giving a guess, I think, or I can't remember the number, but I want to say he was saying 30%, 40%, 50%. Obviously, you're not going to realize your edge always, but it's just like the concept. And so I don't know, like let's pretend all the tools do is tell you to stack. They remind you of week 17 stacks. They whatever. I don't call it 5%. If they keep on recommending bad players, CEH, maybe they're negative EV. If they keep on duping you with the rest of the field, that's an issue as well. Yeah, I think Pat Fryermuth is a big winner of the trade with Pickens as far as who I would project for second in targets on the team. I don't think he's that good at football, but makes for a comfortable second tight end. He's not really gone up in price. This is probably true. I mean, in no small part because people like me stream their thoughts for free. In general, I prefer to be two tight end, James, in the sense that most tight ends don't separate, but it really depends. Like if I'm going them late, I'll be doing three sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. All the wide receivers are terrible, so let's just take a running back we like. Roschon. In theory, you're hoping that Roschon is cheap Najee. Roschon is cheap David Montgomery. Is Jerome Ford too cheap right now? I mean, I personally think Ford is the RB2. At the same time, I don't think we should be drafting three running backs from the 4.5 win team Browns. I do think Ford is more likely to have some standalone value early, and he's shown an ability to play in the NFL. But yeah, what do you win when you win? Ask yourself that question. So, what are we doing with these last three picks? I might put them all in wide receiver. I might go two wide receiver, one running back. I think I'm going to do all wide receiver, though, and just pray that Hampton and Harvey are good from the jump. Like, I don't know. I would buy this team going deep. I would buy this team getting eliminated week one. You know what? No, we're going to draft like we're right. Jefferson and Tyreek are hitting the lineup every single week. So we're only going two more wide receivers. We're tacking on the sixth running back. I don't know. In general, I think an edge is also just like not swaying with the wind, where so many people are reactionary to what worked the year before. How many times have I taken Bowers and McBride on the same team? I mean, I don't think I would ever do that in the Eliminator, and I have not done it in Best Ball Mania, and I might do it like one or two times. It's not a great strategy. Okay. I don't think Jalen Tolbert is dead, so welcome to the team. We do have Dak getting a little stack there. So it's just hard when you take three quarterbacks to feel good about every pick. I mean, I would guess the portion of people using the bots is like actually pretty low. let me say, there's not that many people that sign up for my site, which is $100 a year from a proven winner. So I don't know how many people are paying $100 just to draft for them. Let's go Jalen Wright as the 6th running back. I like Wright still. I know Ollie Gordon is there. I know Alexander Madison's there. But if Achane goes down, it's got to be Wright. Appreciate you, Brandon. Thanks for the super chat. I would wager most people watching the stream do not need the tools. So it's a little uncomfortable going 7 wide receivers, but we're trying to operate with the draft like you're right philosophy, aka we're trying to say Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill are hitting the lineup most weeks, which really means we only need one more spike from Jennings, Debo, Kupp, Tolbert, plus whoever. We're hoping to beat a lot of teams at quarterback. We're hoping to get some early season production from Hampton and Harvey, along with Josh Jacobs. And then whatever these guys do is bonus. We're hoping to get enough at tight end, potentially Jonnu, to be a pretty dependable guy. This seems like a terrible pick. Russell Wilson on a Herbert Mahomes team. Going to be switching to night streams in June. That is correct. Okay. Sure, Wicks, man. Why not? We can't quit Wicks. So the team: Goff, Prescott, McCarthy, Jacobs, Hampton, Harvey, Garendo, Johnson, Wright, Jefferson, Tyreek, Jennings, Debo, Kupp, Tolbert, Wicks, Jonnu, and Fryer. Definitely not my favorite team, but you can see the vision. Need Debo and Kupp not to be utter busts. Need Jefferson and Tyreek to be strong. Need at least one of Hampton or Harvey to be solid to start the season, or one of these guys. So yeah. All right, let's look at some of my earlier drafted eliminator teams before we get out of here. So we drafted 35. Clearly, I don't care about the buys. Someone tell me a number. 1 through 35. 4. Thank you, C Money. 1, 2, 3, 4. We built a 3-4-8-3. Bo, Penix, Cam Ward, cromulent quarterback room. Saquon, Chase Brown, Cook, Montgomery. So a strong running back room. Travis Hunter, Jalen Waddle, Jerry Jeudy, Darnell Mooney, Marvin Mims, Rashid Shaheed, Wan'Dale Robinson, Dontavian Wicks. So we got Mims stacked up with Bo. We got Penix stacked up with Mooney. We got no one stacked up with Cam Ward, which seems fine. Zach Ertz, Hunter Henry, and Juwan at tight end. Yeah, I mean, this is a solid team. Gonna need to get enough from these 6 wide receivers: Shaheed, Mims, Mooney, Judy, Waddle, Hunter. And then, whatever I get from these guys is gravy. So really, this team will go as far as the running backs go. Pretty decent team, though. Who Hames, always to the YouTube members. 23, Michael Jordan. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 23 was with Davis. Goff and Stroud. Achan, Harvey, Hall, Charbonnet, Justice Hill, Woody Marks. Nico, Rice, Pickens, Pearsall, Reed, Kirk, Wilson, Tesla, Likely, and Pitts. I like it. We'll do one more. Lucky number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Herbert, Ward, Darnold. Gibbs, Chuba, Pollard, Bigsby, Roschon. Ladd, Tyreek, Hunter, Jennings, Burden, Mooney, Shaheed. Ertz, Chigakonkwo, Tyler Higbee. So Ward with Chig, Ladd with Herbert, Darnold unstacked. Need Gibbs, Chuba, Pollard to be solid. Tank and Roschon give me some weeks. Ertz, Chig, Higbee, could definitely see that working. I like this group of 7 wide receivers, so I like that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me today. Let me know what you think about the bots. Was I too easy on them? Was I too hard? Am I unfair? Am I biased? Am I not biased enough? Are others biased? Give me your takes. Hit them in the chat. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Join my Discord. Link is below. Check out beatbestball.com for rankings. Gonna have a ranking update this week and gonna have 1 or 2 strategy articles. I think one should hit tomorrow and another one later in the week. Peace out.